I'm here on the island of Trinidad, which is part of the country Trinidad and Tobago, and we're watching the Independence Parade 2022, which is the 60th year of Trinidad and Tobago's independence from the United Kingdom. And that dog just went across some soldiers, past the guards, and made also a name for itself. There are a few dogs in Savannah. That's where we are. It's called Queen's Park, Savannah. It's a very large area that's dedicated to things like this: walking, jogging, sports events, and so forth. It's around 2.5 miles around to walk around it. And I believe it was once regarded, or may still be regarded, as one of the world's largest roundabouts. I'm not sure if it still holds that name for itself. Anyway, today we are here, August 31st, to look at the parade. It's a military parade. There are also other critical forces, emergency forces like the police, Coast Guard. You have those who work with the ambulances, nurses. I don't recall seeing scouts today, but you do see some cadets. I think there were a few scouts. But anyway, it's a parade that encompasses a lot of the emergency personnel. And you can see the dog that comes back out after making his debut. Now I'm using one of my extension rods, and I'm using it with my GoPro 10, and that enables me to get far above the crowd. Now on the left, that's called the grandstand. It allows you to sit in a seated area and watch the parade. Now they were giving out tickets, I think 1,500, to whomever wanted to come and sit down and see the parade. And 1,500 really is nothing for an entire nation. There were some accommodations for parking and so forth, but basically if you wanted to be part of that, you would have had to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and wait, and I wasn't about to do that. It isn't that late. Now that's a plane that passes over. I think it's a Coast Guard plane. I made the crowds go wild. Yeah, I got here around, I think, 7:45 or so. So it was early in the morning, but I didn't want to make that effort to be in the stand, and that might have limited my ability to record too. That's just a helicopter that dips its nose and continues on. When I was in the States, I used to live near Andrews Air Force Base, and we would see a lot of the big planes, a lot of the Air Force jets and so forth, and that was quite a scene. But it was normal for everybody around, so nobody got really excited. I could only imagine if those kinds of planes passed here, based on the cheers of the crowd for a helicopter and a Coast Guard plane. You don't see much of that when you're out and about, so all these things are a spectacle for people. You'll notice that they are all, or most of them, are dressed in red. Trinis like to be patriotic in that way, dress up. You'll see some more of that later in the parade. Basically, I came at this hour because I thought that by 8:45 or so they would be wrapping up, but it took quite a while for them to leave this area. By the way, the Prime Minister of Jamaica, I believe, was also in attendance. He was visiting and watching the parade too. In case you're wondering why there are so many police with big guns watching the crowd, is because of that. Prime Minister's there, the President's there, and they're also protecting the armed forces on parade. You know, everybody's coming to this and there are no security checks. Nobody's being checked for anything, so essentially they have to be on guard watching. But I can tell you right now, the parade went without incident. It's another helicopter. This one doesn't do anything fancy, just passes by. Now through this video I won't be talking all the time. In fact, the whole idea of watching a parade is to hear all the noise, the trucks, the horns, the bands and stuff. So I will only be coming in now and again. But I'm giving you the various views. So for instance, this is the view you would see if I didn't have that extension cord. Everybody's just vying for space and you really can't see anything. So unless I basically push the camera up, you can't see anything. Now when I saw this, the military vehicles leaving, for me I thought, okay, well, this is the part of the parade where they start to head into Port of Spain downtown. Well, not really downtown, but because they go down Frederick Street and then they turn across Park Street and onto Tragate Road. When I saw this I thought, okay, well, maybe they're closing off now. So eventually I will leave this area and try to find a better spot. And I look for different spots, huh? The problem was too is when you have a morning sun, you don't want to be recording a parade when the sun is facing towards the lens of the camera, because that will just dampen the colors. You really can't see anything. So I was looking for a good spot. Eventually I did find a good spot. Now you can hear the excitement and the cheers from the crowd. Now I don't know if it is that they are just being patriotic. It was unusual for me to hear them be so excited, or if they were actually seeing people that they knew. Nevertheless, the crowd was upbeat, and you know, they hadn't had this event, the parade, for 2 years because of the COVID-19 pandemic. So this was like, okay, all that tension released for the parade, and they back out. So I left that area, and you know, like all the videos on JB's Man Cave, I try to keep it raw. So whereas I could cut all of this out and just take it straight to the parade, in this 2-hour or more long video, you will see all the raw parts. But you know, that's what makes my videos unique. You're gonna see things that maybe you would have liked to seen that would not have been shown otherwise. And here I'm showing you all the traffic, what's going on, the noise, where are people at, what they're saying, what they're doing, what they're looking at, different angles, different buildings. So basically you can look out the whole video and just capture all for your eyes and your mind, or you can jump around. I will try to put a key in the description of this video so that you can jump around to various areas of the video if you only want to take in the actual parade as it happens. But in order for you to capture most of the day and what it was like if you were there, I'm going to try to show you more or less everything so you can get an idea. So this is one spot opposite the BP building. which used to be the Queen's Park Hotel. This is some of the Coast Guard vehicles. Now they will slow down a bit, and basically they will turn right onto the Savannah. They will make in a loop. Nevertheless, I'm going to show you everything like I said. It's been debatable, but I think the government has spent over 7 million on making the independence celebration as good as it can be, I guess. They're using fireworks, which I just can't stand, and decorating the place and having different activities here and there. You know, again, not going into politics and how money is spent, but you can see the results of it, I guess. The decorations and whatnot. The vehicles passing by. Not that they bought any specific vehicle for this parade, but you know, I guess it takes some hours and some time to prepare everything, get everybody right, get everybody their uniform, whatever have you. If you have children, they would love to see this, because I know children love lights, they love sounds, they love noise, and there was plenty of noise. So, police on the motorbikes. You also get to see what some of our police vehicles look like. These SUVs are the newer vehicles. I felt that one of these problems with this parade, there was too much gaps. I mean, you could see everybody moving forward here, but this is actually not the parade route. This was just them assembling to go into the Savannah. Well, you'll see the actual parade route later, but I felt there was too many gaps between each section. So you'd see, like, let's say the fire crew, and then there'll be this long gap, and then you might see the police, and then there's this long gap, and you might see the military, and so forth. And that kind of slowed things down, and I realized in the end what was causing it, and that was that some of the people on the parade, the officers or whomever, were stopping and allowing people to bring their children and take pictures. Now, I think that's nice, you know. So you might have a child that wants to be a fireman or a policeman. That would be really exciting, but I think it was overdone. To the point that it was making the parade really long and drawn out. Hence this video being so long. What I think should be done is that there should be a group of people that stay on the parade and they don't stop. And then there are some sideliners who cater for that. So they may not be part of the actual parade, but they on the sideline will stop and allow people to take pictures of them. So if anybody from who organizes these activities, these parades, that's just my humble tip to keep things moving. That instead of having people from the parade itself stopping to take pictures, they can have designated people, you know, possibly on motorbikes, that do that. Now I know you can't do that for a fire engine or whatever, but you know, even so, there could be one engine that remains behind or lags behind the rest of the parade for that purpose, rather than, you know, it being, for instance, the truck at the front that blocks everybody else. Because that was happening a lot in the parade. You'll see that later. And that's not really the case here. This is just again them trying to go into the savannah. And I'm letting you hear all the noise. It was quite noisy. Now this particular truck has a powered, should I call it a water gun? It was putting water into the air. You'll see that later in this video. I guess for either ocean, maybe something on fire within the ocean on their dock, or taller buildings. I don't know how they use it, but it was interesting to see that. Now this is either prison, yeah, this is prisoners, prison officers, I believe. Sometimes it's hard to tell because the military and the prisons use similar colors and lights. It should be designated differently, I think. The prisons, for instance, the emergency vehicles use a green light, and so does the military. And they also have similar colors. Sometimes the prison officers will wear a khaki color uniform too, that distinguishes them. So this may be military as well, I'm not sure. I can't tell from this angle. Coming up behind here is some of the ambulances and first aid and whatnot. I'm not sure if they are actually part of the parade or just simply following in case anybody is in need of medical care. But at least you can get to see what, you know, some of our ambulances look like. So leaving that area, I am proceeding east, and I'm showing you the immense amount of people on the streets. This kind of reminds me of Carnival, actually. It's just like it. That building, the curve, they call it Napa. It's a place where they play music, acting, various things like that. And we're facing south down Frederick Street. On the left is Memorial Park. And these vehicles are trying to get into certain places, like Napa and whatnot. And it's very difficult. You can see right there on the left where the officer is allowing children to take pictures. And that's what I'm talking about. That's separate from the parade. So they could do that rather than having people who are actually part of the parade stop the rest of the parade in order for them to take pictures. Because, you know, one of the things with Trinis is they don't have that sense of, okay, let me give people a chance. No. All of them will start to rush and pile up, and then the parade just stalls and it takes hours to complete. Not part of the parade were these fellows dressed in a North American Indian way, carnival way, I believe, protesting government, I guess. And I don't know. My interpretation of their signs is that they feel they are the real indigenous people, and that too much attention is given to those who claim heritage from the Amerindians here. I am guessing that because, but they also claim the government were terrorists and whatnot by some of their signs. So I'm not sure what kind of thing they were protesting here, but the garb they were wearing was kind of strange too. I guess it was to give attention to themselves, but they were wearing North American headwear. Because I don't think the Caribbeans, the Amerindians wore that kind of headdress. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think so. So this was the position that I found that I thought was the best. I mean, it's not the ideal, but two things it allowed. This is Frederick Street, by the way. I'm looking north on Frederick Street. That church there is the St. Mary's Church, and on the left and next to it is St. Mary's College, or CIC, as people know it. And we are looking north towards the Queen's Park Savannah, and the band or the parades are supposed to come down here. So you can see people gathering on the right, looking for vantage points. I'm showing you this particular part because you see that man in the center there carrying the flag. Can you see him? Well, he was telling the people, I don't know if you can hear him. If in case you didn't hear that, he was saying that, you know, they're writing on Facebook that I'm missing, and I'm not missing. Look at me here, I'm right here. And everybody was laughing because, you know, it's like, who is this? Yeah, he's definitely with his patriotic wear. And as you can see, everybody is in red, most people. And we are still awaiting the parade to come down. But I know some of you like this kind of thing. In Trinidad slang, we call it maccoing, which is basically just observing other people. So you get to see what it's like, people waiting, people around. I know some of you just love people watching, and there you are. You can people watch as much as you like. I'm doing it with my extension rod, so it's high up. I'm not focusing on any particular person. But you can hear the music in the background and the bands. Now I'm going to basically leave you here. You've heard enough of my voice for this video, and you're gonna just sit back and listen to all the noise and the ruckus that's gonna come when these bands get closer. After the bands, you will also see some vintage cars, motorbikes, people on bicycles, roller skates, different things. All that's gonna happen in this video, so keep watching and just sit back, relax. If you have a big screen TV, this would be the best way to watch. It's not a phone. Just let it play and take in all the scenes. If you miss Trinidad, this will help bring back some of it for you. This is all the Independence Day parade in 2022. Me again. So while we wait for the bands to, or the parade to continue, you can see how long the gap is, and that's because a lot of people are stopping to take pictures and whatnot. And as I suggested before, that should not happen. I understand you need to want to take pictures and stuff, but really it delays the parade and it makes it long and drawn out. And you can see people come and go, because in some ways they may think the parade is over and it's not. Anyway, so as you can hear, I left the background sounds at normal level for you to pick it up. And maybe if you are a foreigner looking at this, you could not understand what anybody was saying. And don't worry, because most foreigners that come here, they often are perplexed by the dialect. We have a very strong dialect, and some people speak very quickly, so that's understandable. But they are speaking English, or at least a local version of English. One of the other things I want to tell you, in case you're not familiar with JB's Man Cave, is that I have many videos on Trinidad and other countries in the world. Make sure to look on my channel for them. Make sure to subscribe. Subscribing is free. And if you would like to monetarily support what I do, I would appreciate it. You can always become a patron. Go to my site, JB's Man Cave, or jbmancave.com, and there's a link there, a donate link. Just click on it. You can give whatever you wish to. There's no pressure, just to assist if you like what I do and you like the work that I do. So keep on watching. We have quite a ways to go and quite a lot to see, but you can keep watching the people, and you can hear the parade coming and all the noise in the background. Now I'm coming in here again because in this section of the video, they're playing some local music, which is called soca, calypso music, Caribbean music. However, that music is copyrighted, and YouTube, when it picks up that music, demonetizes my video and gives the revenue to the music owner. While I don't mind doing that, I work too hard on these videos to do that. So I'm coming in here because that guy in the center of your screen, he's driving a tricycle. Now when I say a tricycle, a bike with 3 wheels, not like a kid's bike. This is an adult bike, and on it he has like a mini stereo system, and it's blasting all the calypsos, the soca that people like to hear. Now this section, I'm not sure how it's made up, but they were kind of celebrating Nicholas Paul. He recently scored gold for Trinidad and Tobago in cycling, that is. And this group here is like a group of cyclists. But what I noticed, why I don't sound so sure, is because what I noticed is there are also people rollerblading on roller skates and skateboards. So I don't know what the connection is. I guess it's the section of the parade where you use a bike or roller skates or something to push yourself. The guy that is controlling that tricycle in the center of the screen, obviously a cyclist himself. You can tell by his humongous quadriceps and calves. I am not, besides loving cycling in my day, I don't really keep up with who's who in cycling anymore. But it's good to see that the parade also caters for these people, not just military, not just emergency personnel, but just locals that want to show off their talents and stuff. You could see some of them skating around and showing what they're about. Sad to say that although cycling is big in Trinidad and Tobago, a lot of these cyclists have to pay and make a lot of sacrifices because they don't really get enough help when they go abroad. And I know that can be debated and people will argue for and against that, but I can tell you that they're always asking for help, and in their travel expenses, in their training and so forth, and yet still, they go out there and they score medals and stuff for the country. I think a lot more can be done with sports, not just highlighting people who reach the championship level and score gold or whatever, but highlighting sports in general, because in my opinion, sports is a good way for people to come out of poverty. If you have a really good talent, and it doesn't have to be cycling, it could be any sport, football, cricket, swimming, whatever it is, it doesn't really matter. Once you can excel in it, and you come from probably a background where you're not too affluent, or maybe you are not gifted academically or whatever, but you do have the physical prowess, you have the physical strength that you could show off a sport, then I don't see why not. You could take off, and I think just as important as academics, Trinidad and Tobago can make the effort to ensure that its citizens have a big sports background. Now, physical education is in school. I don't know if I could say the emphasis is as strong as what I am saying, where they test people out for their physical abilities. But then, you have to give people options. If you just base school sports on just certain common things like football, cricket, whatever, but there's no opportunities to try other things like, let's say, tennis, or even something as simplistic as golf. Sorry for saying simplistic for those of you who are golfers, but I mean, it doesn't take a lot of physical muscle to be a golfer. That's what I'm getting at. Anyway, What I'm trying to say is, unless there's exposure for the youth to different other things, they may figure, oh, well, I'm no good at football or I'm no good at cricket, so I'm no good at sports. And it might be they may be really good at javelin, they may be really good at golf, they may be really good at tennis. But unless they are given that opportunity and there are more places for them to try at least, then they won't know. And that in itself is great for the country, in my opinion. Sports tourism is a big thing nowadays, and having people who score big for Trinidad and Tobago is also a big deal. What do you think about that? Tell me in the comments area of my YouTube channel. I'd like to hear what you think about sports in Trinidad and Tobago. Do you think there's enough preparation, enough exposure for youth in the sports world, or is it that we just leaving youth to figure it out for themselves and choose a sport for themselves, or are we really making it possible that they could try out different things and see what they might be really good at? Tell me in the comments area on my YouTube channel, let me know what you think. So I'm gonna let you watch now.
Looking good, thanks.
Okay, so I'm coming in again because in one of these vehicles they are playing some soca music. Again, the copyright issues. But some of those vehicles look pretty cool, didn't they? I like when people take vehicles, and especially vehicles from yesteryear, and restore them. And not only restore them, but modify them so they can be in sync with the needs of modern roads and modern lifestyles. There are a few American-made vehicles to Chevy and whatnot. Later in this video, towards the end of the video, you'll see some 4x4, some mothers, and big vehicles to go anywhere. I wouldn't mind having some of that when I am going on these road trips, but they're kind of expensive to maintain. Even having my truck, which is a D22, just having a truck alone is expensive to maintain. It's not like a car, it requires more maintenance, especially when you have a diesel engine. You know, when you go to buy a tire, you know, a car would be half the price, but on a truck is twice the price. So all those things you have to take into consideration. So having some of these fancy vehicles may look nice, but really hard to maintain when you need parts and whatnot. So again, as you can see, these gaps, it always looks like if, you know, the parade has come to an end, but there's always something more because stuff doesn't, or I shouldn't say stuff, but people in the parade don't come down as quickly as they should. You know, the constant stopping for pictures and different things. Anyway, this is a motorbike section. I think they're called the Knights or the Night Riders, and I can't remember. Somebody watching the video can always fill me in. I don't know what's their stuff, what their stuff is about, but I like the Predator helmet. I don't actually see people using it on the roads, but it's nice when they show it off in this parade. They are also playing music as well. You can see some of the frustration on their faces by having to wait constantly, and it's, you know, it's in the hot sun and they're wearing shirts, and it's that a I don't know, some sort of overall or whatever, I'm not sure what it is, an inner piece for a suit. But the bikes look good. They are very noisy, and so I'm going to allow you to hear as they take back off. You can hear the engine moving. Tell me what you think about it in the comments area of my YouTube channel.
Fire! Fire!